Okay, hi there, folks. This is Phydra. I see all these people blogging and posting and ranting and raving and tweeting and everything about PvP versus PvE in Chronicles of Elyria. And I'm just surprised that this is even still an argument, because it's not like it's an all or nothing situation. I personally do not PvP anymore. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I'm arthritic. I'm racked up. It's painful, and therefore I'm not good at it. So what human wants to do something they're not good at, right? Nobody. So I have become a PvE player. That said, I'm backing Chronicles of Elyria, and the only reason I'm not backing them at the Chimera and Karate level is because Kickstarter messed up my pledge. Actually, I take that back. I messed up my pledge, but it was because of poor UX design on the part of Kickstarter. I actually had come back to the site to update and upgrade my pledge, and the top item was the only item that didn't have anything associated to it. It said, I just want to help out the project. And I said, great, yes, I'll just add that to my pledge, because I'm logged in so they know who I am, so they know I already have a pledge, and they know I've already upgraded it once. So this is actually adding to it the second time, and I was jazzed. So I hit that, and I threw another 1,500 in the pot, and sent it off, and then I went back to my crazy busy working life, right? I come back after the Kickstarter ends, and when I go to check my email, that's when I discover that the receipt they sent me was for a pledge downgrade to 1,500, which I think is like Weaponsmith or something. So I'm dealing with that. I'm not happy. The PayPal site will come, and then I can re-up and get back to where I was before. The problem is I'm going to be missing out on all those early bird tier rewards. I won't be able to get those. So, thanks, Kickstarter, for fucking me up in the one game that I'm so excited for, right? Anyway, moving on. PvP, PvE, oh my god, I can't play COE, it's a PvP game, and you have to pay for sparks, and oh my god, it's gonna be horrible. Stop. Okay, so PvP versus PvE, it's not about that anymore. You just haven't realized it yet. I know that you hear this from people all the time, and every time you hear it, it pisses you off because you feel like the information should be easily accessible, very easily consumable, and catered to you on a silver platter. And as a customer, you know what? You're absolutely right. But in the indie gaming industry, they don't have enough people to do that. They really don't. And so what they do is they make videos that you need to watch all the way through. Yes, even though it's an hour. That's what the weekends are for. I mean, you want to figure out if it's worth investing in, right? They have these dev journals that they post. I have now read every dev journal. I have watched every YouTube video, including all of Unicycle Seal. No. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Bicycle Walrus, I know who you are. Anyway, I've watched all of those. I have watched every piece of video that I can find. And I work as a product manager and an analyst for a living, so trust me, I can find a lot. And they have given us so much information. It's almost too much information. And I know that's really gonna, jerk a knot in the shorts of people who feel like they don't know everything they want to know. But tell me, at what point in life have you ever known everything you wanted to know without actually going out and researching and pulling it together and studying it and learning it for your fucking self, right? None. So why should this be any different? Get out there and read the shit, watch it, I mean, it's actually enjoyable. You know, if you really like gaming, this is not going to be something you break a sweat over. You're going to start reading, you'll be like, oh my god, and you'll want to go and watch the next one because there's just more and more amazing stuff they're talking about. And for the first time, it might actually happen. Like, that's the cherry on the sundae. I've been gaming for over 25 years, maybe over 27, actually. You wouldn't know it to look at me with my tattoos and my great travel earrings and whatever that I am a grandma. And I'm not even an old grandma. I mean, I'm sure to most people on the forums, I'm old because they're all under 30 or just into their 30s. But I've seen a few folks out there that are like me. Older, that is. Anyway, I don't PvP because I suck at it, not because I'm a casual gamer and I'm afraid. But even if it was because I was a casual gamer and I'm afraid, who are you to say that that's bad or wrong? Okay? So y'all just need to bury the hatchet and understand this is different. This is new. With the spatial OS system that they have, they're going to be able to create swarm AI behavior, which means that these aren't going to just be NPCs sitting around waiting for you to decide if you want to interact with them. Depending on what kind of life you've been living, they'll either meet you at the town gate and want to buy you a beer, or meet you at the town gate and try to fucking kill you, right? For the first time, PvP is going to have consequences. You know, all those years that people who actually enjoyed player killing, which, by the way, didn't used to be a thing. There actually used to be a noble culture around the idea that killing someone who didn't even want to participate in player versus player was unethical, rude, a demonstration of you being a total asshat douchebag. You know, and more times than not, they would say, there's probably also something really wrong up here because, let's face it, what kind of person needs to make someone else's day miserable to make their own better, right? So all of that is historical culture from back in the UO days and before. PvPers lived by this code of honor in relation to how they interacted with people who weren't into the same thing that they were. And they would enforce their own law. If you were found to be a PKer in Ultima Online, it wouldn't be about, ha ha, Care Bear noob, you can't kill me, so I get away with it. It was about, you better be watching your back every second that you're in the game because they're coming for you. The PvPers who want to entice new people to come and experience the rush and the enjoyment that they get. They want the PvPers to come play. They want them to come and run around with them, you know? And you, Gankosaurus, you're ruining it. You're ruining it because you're not remembering that fresh meat doesn't come when they know there's a trap. Okay? The answer to the PvP community who's been screaming about how, you know, nobody wants PvP, everybody's hating on their PvP, they refuse to understand you have to build a culture of ethic and accountability around it if you want to get PvE players back across the aisle. Okay? I have lived on both sides of this equation, and I'm telling you, that's what it is. Try it, you'll see. And the reason I'm back in this game is because that's what they're doing. They actually have the ability now, thanks to Spatial OS, to put in systems of logic and AI that will respond and react appropriately to murder in the world. That's exciting to me. I would be much less upset about being PK'd if I knew this person's ability to continue playing is going to be negatively impacted because of what they did, because of what I experienced, right? It may take a while, but it is a fact that it is an eventuality. It will happen. So they're no longer going without consequence. But that's not all. There's prison. If you get caught and you're one of these murdering, rampant serial killer types running around in this world, you're going to prison. That's awesome. I don't know how they're going to implement this prison thing, but my hope would be that it's literally living in prison, which, effectively, you have your morning routine, you have your meals, you have your evening routine, and then it's lights out, like for realsies. And ain't nobody just going to be breaking up out of there. PvP players who lean towards PK as a gaming style are going to be sorely, sorely disappointed in this game. And all of you people just going on about, oh my god, it's going to be a gank fest, I can't possibly play. Understand that one of the foundational underpinnings of this is that your actions in the world have consequence over long terms of time. History. Like, history is going to exist. Kind of like Eve, right? Who was there for Titan Steve, right? You just don't open your brain and think about all the wild, crazy things that you gave up on ever seeing in a game because the technology just wasn't there. Or it was too expensive. Or the game companies didn't know how to monetize it. And understand that this is the perfect storm. And I'm going to tell you why. As an analyst, I'm going to tell you why. Mobile games have introduced people to the concept of instant gratification on a level that MMOs have never willingly wanted to embrace. You have console and the advent of MOBA and free-to-play and microtransaction-based games all over the place that are teaching players on a day-to-day basis that, yes, we're willing to compromise time for money, but it's always going to be at your disadvantage, Mr. Player, right? And then you have MMOs like, Shroud of the Avatar, where they almost have it right. They want to bring back the experience of living in the UO world, of living in the like EverQuest type world, the early games where it was work and it required a time commitment and it required the ability to really expand and hone your skills over time. Time. Oh yeah, and money, but lots of it. Thank you very much. And they're not prepared for what the market's going to do to them when they launch, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I backed them with a ridiculous amount of money that I will never get back, and I'm actually perfectly fine with that. And the reason why is the game that I want to play is never going to get here unless I am willing, despite all the failures, despite all the vaporware, despite all the ones that just lied and up and disappeared with shit, because there's been a couple of those too. Despite all of it, that if I just keep my faith and be committed to supporting the industry, that eventually the technology will be here and the game that I want will arrive. And just like all the other ones before, I am now firmly convinced in my heart of hearts, and even with my cold, rational mind, that Chronicles of Elyria is going to be an amazing 800-pound gorilla that's going to make what happened with World of Warcraft look like kindergarten. I mean, old-time players want to have realism. And they don't mean the GTA realism that isn't Not reality MMOs, okay? Realism, genuineness, authenticity. The ability to be just as famous for being a blacksmith as for being a dragon slayer or a raider. That's been my dream for decades, and no one's ever done it. And finally, here, we have a game where that's the foundation upon which they want to build. Not only that, but they're even going to maintain the mechanics of aging, longevity, or lack thereof, and tie it into a world mythos that includes reincarnation and soul walking as legitimate parts of the game. So that's their nod to fantasy, is that you actually get to come back and re-experience it, which, to me, I think that's fucking brilliant, and let me tell you why. Everybody's scared of dying. Most of us don't even think about it. We just really don't until something happens and we have no choice, right? But everybody, nobody wants to die. Everybody wants... Actually, I don't want to live forever. I just want to live till I'm bored. I guess at some point it's effectively the same, right? But it's going to be real. Actually, that should be their tagline, right? Like, hashtag shit getting real. Or, not shit, that's a wrong choice. Gold getting real. But see, that doesn't work. Gold used to be the term for retail release of a new MMO. Maybe still is, I have no idea. I've been out of it for a while. It's getting real. How about gaming? It's getting real. You know, that to me is what Chronicles of Elyria represents. It's what I have heard consistently in every interview, every video. It's what I've read in every piece of writing. And oh, by the way, the fact that Jeremy Walsh can sit down at the drop of a hat and write one of these things and continuously not only tell us different aspects of this picture, but how they interrelate without missing a beat. Like off the cuff, he could drop into IRC and have the same conversation. It would be just as authentic. That kind of specificity, I have trouble with that word, and continuity and interconnectedness of concepts and information is not normal. It doesn't just happen. This isn't like the other Kickstarters where you had a general idea and special people in the company had deep vision into one area or another, but nobody really had the holistic view of how it's all going to work together. This is something else that convinces me that this game is different. They are coming at this from the perspective of an ecosystem, a holistic, realistic world, and all of the things that implies. I mean, look at our world. Look at all the plurality that we have, all the diversity that we have as human beings, and look at what we do with it, okay? These are the things that are going to be possible in this game. You know, we already have folks that are standing up, what are we going to call it, the Illyrian Inquirer, and all that kind of silliness. And, yeah, okay, fine. I'm sure the world needs that too. I'm impressed with the people that are already talking about doing plays and theater, musical events, and setting up venues to support them. I'm impressed by the people who genuinely want to have the ability to be in character all the time. That used to be my jam. This game is different. This game is new. And I don't mean new as in fledgling indie Kickstarter thing. I mean a new concept. And even if I didn't like the concept at all, I would still support it because it is the newest thing to arrive on the MMO horizon in decades. And if you don't take anything else away from this video, take that. Because new technology that can completely change what constitutes an MMO game is always going to be something worth backing. If you want to see these games continue and thrive, then when you see something that is truly disruptive, truly different, truly unique, yeah, throw your money in the pot. Because whether they become the next WoW, I hate saying that. They won't be the next WoW. They'll be the new Chronicles of Elyria. That's what I believe. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, people will be talking about this game the way that we talk about WoW today. Everybody out there and my grandkids will be complaining, well, I don't want it to be a Chronicles of Elyria clone, right? We've seen this cycle before, so the guys that came up with WoW clone think they're being all unique. Not so much. Anyway, I don't even know how coherent I've been. I'd like to think maybe a little, but I'm absolutely ripped right now, so maybe not. But either way, I hope it was entertaining. I would love to find something else to ramble about, so if you have something you'd like to hear me just go on about, because I can certainly do it, feel free to post in the comments, and I will take a look and we'll see what we can do. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.